Also, we'll be exploring the positive effects of COVID-19 from the developer of Boma Estate right here in Kikuyu, and later on a review of the EPS building technology. This is undoubtedly Property Focus, your window into the world of architecture, building construction, and real estate. Get comfortable, get kosher. I'm your host, Peter Ngigi. As we learned from last week's episode, the pandemic has not cast gloom on all segments in the property market. Actually, the affordable zones have recorded steady growth in terms of investments over the last 2 quarters. We have a developer whose business has been quite progressive in spite of the pandemic. Let's hear what she has to say. Welcome to Property Focus, Carol.
Thank you, Peter, for having me today.
Now, as a developer, what informed your decision to take on this path of building affordable homes?
Having worked in the real estate industry for the last 10 years, the demand for housing is high. Because currently in Kenya, as we speak, the demand every year is 250,000 yearly, and the market is able to supply 50,000 per year. And narrowing down to Nairobi demand is 120,000 houses every year, and the market is only able to supply 35,000 every year. So we are left with a deficit of 85,000 houses to be supplied every single year. And we thought it is high time to also venture in the real estate industry, and specifically affordable housing, because we want to demystify the myth of owning houses is expensive. Yes.
Now, we're in the middle of a pandemic. How has this affected the uptake of real estate products here in Kenya?
Real estate has been affected because many people who purchased with us, they start by putting a deposit and having commitments of paying every single month. So these clients, some lost their jobs and some were forced to work from home with half pay. So they were forced to come back to the office to renegotiate for the payment terms, and others were also forced to withdraw from purchasing because they could no longer afford the units. Again, we saw young people coming on board and really looking to invest, because all of a sudden they realized that they have been staying in apartments, and when the pandemic came, they realized that they could not go out, they could not breathe, the kids didn't have freedom, and now they are looking forward to invest and have a place to call home. So we have experienced demand is high now in the market. On top of that, we were able to introduce a gated estate in the market, which the uptake has been really good, because we realized that people have small disposable income that they can start planning themselves with by buying a piece of plot and starting to build on their own pace.
Other than price, what would you say are the market drivers for property in affordable zones?
People are looking for serenity, people are looking for space, and also people are attracted to infrastructure, especially roads. Like where we are seated today, the Southern Bypass is just next to us. And being next to the Southern Bypass, someone can commute from here to town using 3 different routes, from here to the next county, without the interference of the CBD.
Give us your parting shots.
I'll call upon all the young people to start their investments early, because whatever you invest when you are young, that's what you'll eat on when you are old. Come buy for yourself, buy for your parents, and also parents, buy for your kids, because you need your kids to be stable in the future, and we make this industry grow together.
And thank you for coming on to Property Focus.
Thank you very much, Peter, for having me today. Where we are seated today is called Boma Estate. The estate is actually sold out, so I'm calling upon all the young people to invest, and let's grow this country together.
And there you have it from Carol Lontubu, a developer who's building affordable homes. Up next, we've got the Prime Properties. Stay tuned.
African Developers Group is a real estate multinational company with 25 years of experience in Egypt and in the Middle East. We offer our clients transparency and affordable pricing without compromising on our quality.
I'm happy to live in a quiet, clean, modern and relaxing environment with my family. The house is spacious. It has large windows that allow in natural lighting. The kitchen is well designed with adequate storage unit, and it also has an exclusive laundry area.
Dining here with my family in our new home is my dream come true.
I love the details. You know, the high quality finish, the marble staircase, the ready-to-use Wi-Fi and internet connection, the captivating views from the comfort of my home, and of course the recreational space at the rooftop where I do my exercises with my sisters and host parties for all my friends.
I must say it was a lifetime opportunity to purchase this home. The houses are affordable, modern, and very fashionable. The houses are in close proximity to the SGR terminus, the Gateway Mall, and the JKIA Airport.
This spectacular design has flawless services which include a garden, kids play area, swimming pool, backup generator, elevators, rooftop recreational area, and a walking track. Luxor is a multi-residential complex comprising of studios, 1 beds, 2 beds, and 3 beds.
We're taking a commercial break, but when we're back, we're tackling real estate funding with none other than Housing Finance Group CEO Robert Kibara. So stay tuned for this and much more only on Property Focus.
Beat sensitivity pain fast with Sensodyne Rapid Action for clinically proven relief in 60 seconds.
I have to admit, I didn't like Sukuma Wiki when I was growing up, but now I've created a way to make Sukuma Wiki tastier and meatier. I simply add 2 Royco beef cubes and the end result is a rich, meaty flavor. And today, I have brought along my harshest food critics for a taste test. My kids.
More, please!
Royco beef cubes. Add 2 small cubes for a big, meaty taste.
From far with you. I even gifted you a magnificent house. Rosa, it's the thought that counts. Please help me.
When it comes to fever, you need to be both. Panadol Baby and Infant starts to work on fever in 15 minutes and is gentle on the tummy. Panadol Baby and Infant. Tough on fever, gentle on your child.
Do your gums hurt? Yeah. Does your toothpaste contain sage, eucalyptus, myrrh, chamomile? All that in one toothpaste? Yes, try Colgate Herbal. Colgate Herbal contains nature's best herbs and Colgate's fluoride technology to give you strong teeth and healthy gums. Ah, Colgate Herbal. Let's go. Colgate Herbal for strong teeth and healthy gums naturally.
On Monday, Gladys Gashanja has an honest conversation on being our brother's keepers. The pandemic has seen some people literally adopt families and individuals to help them through the difficult times. Now join us from 7 a.m. as we appreciate these heroes amongst us and understand what makes them tick.
We are Nation, Africa's independent media brand. We are committed to empowering all Africans, from the young to the old, from the curious to the educated, and from the heart of the cities to the rural areas. We are Nation. Join us, because if you want to get far, you do it together. Nation. Empower Africa.
And welcome back. We're looking at the impacts of COVID-19 on real estate financing. And with me, we have a man who's got over 25 years experience in banking and finance to just tell us about the effects of this pandemic on real estate financing. Welcome to Property Focus, Robert Kibara.
Thank you for having me.
Excellent. So tell us, what does real estate financing actually entail?
Okay, when you talk about real estate financing, it could be, for instance, as simple as you financing your own house, for instance, from savings. But there are more sophisticated ways of doing that. You can actually either borrow, for instance, from a bank in the form of a mortgage. You can also, for instance, if you are a developer, you can have a combination of all your own equity and debt at the same time. But then, of course, as you go further, you will find that there are other ways that people finance. For instance, you can have, now people are talking about off-taker guarantees, guarantees where you get a guarantee. For instance, a bank guarantees a developer that if houses have been built, then the bank guarantees the off-take. And on that basis, then the developer can use that guarantee to obtain funding. So there are various ways, but it simply just means financing development of removable assets, such as building.
Let's talk about some of the effects the pandemic has had in this particular industry.
So it's been massive. One of them, just at basic level, is just the instability of people's incomes. So a lot of people's incomes have been affected. People have had to take pay cuts. You've had some people who have lost their jobs. And if, for instance, you're servicing a mortgage and your income has been reduced significantly, or you've had a pay cut, then obviously that impacts your ability to pay for your mortgage. Then there has been now the developers. So if you have developed houses, right now there are not that many buyers. And so what most developers have had to reduce the prices of their houses. And so the impact has been profound. For people who are hoping, say, to buy a house, it's become increasingly difficult. They are now a bit scared because of the uncertainty, and that has then reduced the demand on new houses, and even, for instance, take up of mortgages. Then the banks also have reacted by then slowing down on lending, particularly to development of projects. So there has been significant impact on our sector.
So has the reduced CBR rate increased lending in the real estate funding sector?
Okay, there are two things the government has, the central bank has done. Of course, the first thing is the CRR, which is basically the cash reserve ratio that banks do reserve with central bank, and that has reduced from 5.25 to 4.25. What that means, then, it releases a large amount of money into the banking system, additional liquidity, and also lowers the cost or increases the bank's ability to lend. What that has done is not to increase lending, but it has helped banks to be able to do more to cushion and restructure facilities for individuals, and that's one of the conditions Central Bank has put in place. Then the CBR, if you look at I think it was the Business Daily last week, I saw overall across the industry, the cost of lending has actually reduced, and obviously that benefit then is plowed to the customer, to the end user customer, and therefore you can see, yes, those have had a good impact on lending, both lending and also cushioning customers from the impact of the pandemic. Yeah.
What are some of the unprecedented actions that industry players such as yourselves have had to take because of this pandemic?
Okay, so for HF, you know, we play on both the demand and the supply side. Demand side is basically we give mortgages to customers, and so there are a lot of customers who've been impacted, and we've had to restructure their facilities. Then we have financed now the developers on the demand side, and we have tried to support those developers also to be able to overcome the impacts of that, restructuring some of the facilities they have, supporting them to be able to actually sell. And then, of course, there is now the industry-wide initiatives that have been launched, where we have waived certain fees to enable customers to be able to just lower the cost on the customer side. Out there in the industry as well, I've seen developers reducing prices of houses, so that then can be able to spur a bit of development. And then there has been now movement of new houses. Now you are seeing more of the affordable housing rather than the high end. So there has been quite a bit of impact within the industry. Besides then the health and safety concerns that people who are developing houses now, so you've got a whole group of people at a site. You can't have them assemble together as many people. So those are some of the impacts that we've seen. Yeah.
So what are the lessons learned, new practices that have come to play, as a result of this whole pandemic?
Okay, there are a lot of lessons learned. One of them is that we are moving now into the low-touch environment. People don't want to touch things. So you will actually see that more of people will move now more towards the digital experiences, wherever you go, whether you are in a restaurant, whether you are consuming banking services. That low touch means that less of actually people meeting physically. For instance, now we are already used to Zoom. But I think that one of the lessons that people have learned that will change the way we see things is the need to actually save. Is the need to actually just save, to have a safety net, because this can repeat itself. You never know, and people have really suffered through this pandemic. For us as a bank, one of the things we've done is to just revamp our digital channels to keep very close to customers, so that then we are able to support people through actually this pandemic, and this is something we intend to keep. So there is a lot of things that have changed around the way we do things. Yeah.
So give us your parting shots.
So first of all, what I would like to say, both generally speaking, is about the pandemic, is that this pandemic will end. All pandemics normally end. It's just to encourage all of us to remain very resilient, to just continue to do what best we can. And as the economy opens, you'll actually see more opportunities opening.
Well, thank you very much for coming on to Property Focus.
Thank you for coming over at HF.
Wonderful. And there you have it from Robert Kibara, experts in the property and finance sector. Now we're moving on to the billboards. Stay tuned. Welcome to Ideal Paints. Have you had the chance to try out our interior paint selection? Our range of vinyl, silk vinyl, or matte emulsion ranges are designed to give your walls that bright, smooth look that lasts for years. Call us today on 0722 513 688 or visit our website on www.idealpaints.co.ke.
Looking for a luxurious, affordable home? Luxor provides comfort and easy care living in a private, secure complex located off Mombasa Road behind Gateway Mall. Our units are detailed with open modern kitchen, spacious lounge, dining area, and suite master bedroom, laundry area, and optional ensuite DSQ. Amenities include elevator, Wi-Fi, rooftop space, kids play area, swimming pool, backup generator, parking area, and more. Don't miss this lifetime opportunity. Luxury all around.
And welcome back. If you've been wondering what to use as an alternative building construction material, worry no more, because we've got engineer Thomas to just tell us a little bit about EPS technology. Welcome to Property Focus.
Thank you.
What is EPS building panel technology?
Yes, before I explain it, where we are is EPS factory, which is set up by National Housing Corporation. But EPS simply means expanded polystyrene.
What are the elements within EPS?
The elements, the main raw materials, what we have are what we refer to as EPS beads, and we also have steel. The steel we're using is of very high strength, whereas in the market what you'll get is the strength of 500 megapascals. What we are using is 700 megapascals, so it's higher, it's of higher quality steel and stainless. And also we have water, which produces steam as a medium to expand the polystyrene, and hence the name expanded polystyrene.
Are there different types of this EPS?
We have different types, like what we manufacture here, we have different, whatever we are manufacturing, we have different types of panels. We have wall panels, and we have floor panels. Wall panels, we also have different sizes, depending on the usage. Maybe you may want it for just partitioning, you may want it to carry floors, so there's a difference.
What specific uses are there for, other than walling and flooring, are there any other specific uses for EPS technology?
Yes, there are. I know when you go to the studios, they use it for soundproofing and heat proofing, and also for roofing, they use it for proofing, for heat and soundproofing. But what we are producing here is basically for usage in housing projects.
Tell us about the advantages, engineer.
Advantages are so many. One of the advantages we have is the material is very light. The material is also a byproduct from oil manufacturing. As they process oil, this is a byproduct. So it's not as if we are coming with something new. We are using a byproduct from oil processes.
It's sustainable.
That's right. Two, as you are aware, we are now really exhausting our sand, we are exhausting our stones. So when we use this material now, we are able to conserve our environment.
The one question though on our viewers' mind
is
the cost elements.
The cost
is it cheaper than traditional materials?
I can say it's cheaper because you see, when we talk of cost, we talk of so many things. Okay. Cost as an element of time, cost as an element of how easier you can work with the material, and then cost now as an element of the actual money you spend in buying the material. Yes. Now, it's good to note that when we are replacing, for instance, walling, with we say we have a stone wall and I want to replace a stone wall with the EPS panel wall, I'll be reducing up to almost 40%. Yeah, what I would have used, I'll use 40%, so it's lighter. Now, same applies to the floors. When I use the floor panels, EPS floor panels, as opposed to the normal, what we are used to, the concrete floor panel, the weight again is reduced by almost 30%. Now, what that means is that whatever structure I'm coming up with is lighter, and that now that is lighter, the foundation will also be much lighter. So when you look at it, it's economical and is something which can replace the traditional construction methods we are using, or the traditional stones and mortar.
And how long does it last?
Almost 100 years, just like, put it this way, it's a construction material just like any other. And also note this, when you have the panel, then you plaster on the sides, it takes quite long as well.
So this is the material?
This is the material which we call the expanded polystyrene. Wow. But this before we expand it.
Very interesting.
When it's expanded, it can expand up to almost 60 to 100 times.
Engineer?
Yes.
How tall can a structure be with this material?
If I use walls of 80 millimeters thick, walls which are 80 millimeters thick, it can carry 3 suspended floors.
This material can hold 3 suspended floors.
You know, when you look at it as a material, you may not really see that. But once it is taken through the process, and then we assemble the panels, it can carry 3 suspended floors.
Excellent.
Yes.
So what's the future for building construction materials?
what we are seeing is that this is an eye-opener for Kenyans, so that we are able to, first of all, the advantages of the EPS technology is time. As you are aware, people would like to produce, build houses and do it the fastest way possible. So in the future, I expect people to adapt it, people to embrace it, so that we can do faster construction and provide housing the fastest way possible. It saves cost in terms of time, and also in terms of the structural elements. Things like pillars will be slightly smaller, foundation will be smaller, and then it has a saving.
Now, being a new construction material product, how do you ensure that it's properly enforced and implemented?
Yes. One of the first things we did, we trained a number of contractors, we trained a number of artisans, the so-called fundis, we have trained quite a number of them, and we have their database. And they are spread all over the country. So wherever clients come to buy the materials from us, we link them up with those who are already trained to do the actual installation on site. Besides, we also have a team which goes around to ensure that work is done and is done well, more or less after-sales service. So we have a team of engineers who have to ensure that is properly installed, being a new product, and we have seen people catching up, and quite a number of them are now able to use it.
Well, you look forward to more houses built with EPS technology.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Engineer, for coming on to Property Focus.
Welcome.
I'm sure you're enlightened. Amazing. Only on Property Focus. And thank you for staying tuned. I hope you found today's episode both exciting and enlightening. Property Focus is your window into the world of architecture, building construction, and real estate. Find us on our social media pages at Property Focus on Facebook and Property_Focus_ on Instagram. Until next time, I'm your host, Peter Ngigi.
Do your gums hurt? Yeah. Does your toothpaste contain sage, eucalyptus, myrrh, chamomile? All that in one toothpaste? Yes, try Colgate Herbal. Colgate Herbal contains nature's best herbs and Colgate's fluoride technology to give you strong teeth and healthy gums. Ah, Colgate Herbal. Let's go. Colgate Herbal for strong teeth and healthy gums naturally.
Breaking news from Molfix. Let's see what they're developing right now.